Thank you for taking time to view the show. And everyone, let's get into the conversation. Mr. Moore is here. Off before we started the show, he was sharing some insight. I'm going to put him on the spot so he can talk more about the Houston Texans, sir, and training camp. You got it.
Texas just wrapped up the ninth day nine of at least what I've been telling the grind and the preparation. They had an afternoon practice yesterday, and they went into the night, which I thought was real nice. I thought probability. In fact, it did. There was a lot of shelter in place because of active thunderstorm, lightning, and thunder in the area yesterday, and I'm thinking, okay, we might get a chance to go in the bubble, but it didn't happen. It was enough activity in there to keep everybody where they kept the fans out of the stands and everything. So eventually, practice went on. I think practice got started a little after 6, something like that. And eventually they let the fans, start filtering back in sometime after that. It was a good practice yesterday. One of the things I think to me yesterday, the defense was dominant yesterday in the whole series of practice. Let's see, Jadavian Clowney. I call him JD, but Jadavian Clowney signed a couple of days ago. He's back, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how he works into the Texans front four. Because they brought a couple of more guys back from the previous year, so
Mr. Moore,
all of
real
that's
quick,
good.
do you
Yeah,
do you concur with this statement from Justin? I think you kind of do. He said he heard the offense has been good, but the defense showed them why they were number one this last practice. Kind of touched
yeah.
on it right there.
No. In fact, it's almost like Justin when I did hadn't posted my stand up from last night practice, but that was one of the first things I said. Overall, good practice, but the defense was just dominant. They showed why they were are the number one defense. Between Will, it was just destroying folks out there yesterday, and it's the number one defense. Now let me go ahead and just sort of lay this out. When you see the same guys day in and day out, yeah, I mean they are practicing at full speed. They are going at it. Don't misunderstand me. I think a better barometer will be this Thursday night when the Chargers come into town. Now, don't expect the starters. In fact, the starters probably won't even suit up. If anything, they'll probably be running around in their regular shorts and everything. You expect to see the second line players to start. I I I would be shocked to see CJ get his series in this week. I don't anticipate CJ. In fact, I'll find out Tuesday when I get to camp. I'll be one of the questions I ask exactly, what starters may or may not play or not, and I don't anticipate to see any. And I will be, in fact, I will be shocked if they tell me otherwise. But that's coach's discretion at the day of the game. But yeah, they need to look at a lot of players, particularly on the offensive line. They need to take a look at those guys because you're gonna ride this season rides or die with how well that offensive line can come together. How well David Montgomery, Woody Marks, and the rest of those guys can get through the holes. Can they make holes for those guys to run through? Can the tight ends, because there's a battle at the tight end position, and can Brevin Jordan, and this is a personal thing with me. I'm hoping not only with Tank Dell being able to come back, but I'm hoping that Brevin Jordan can come back because prior to him getting hurt last year in the early part of the season, early part of camp, with this offense and what Brevin brings to the table, I mean, I just envision this guy just sort of being like a Swiss Army knife in where they can move him around in different places where they can move him. So I'm hoping that he can come back as well. Other than that, Chris, it's that the drudgery of watching camp. Um, Kalen Rutledge, uh,
Well, hold
they
on.
had
Let's get to some more statements real quick from everybody. From C. Anthony, AD, what would you grade the Texans off season? What would you grade? How would you grade them? What grade would you give them?
right now B
Yep.
a B. I mean, I'm giving them a B right now. I mean, if you average up, and you know what, I'm giving that's the whole team, and the offense is going to bring the offensive prowess is going to bring down the defensive status, because if you grade them all overall as on the team, I give them a B right now where we standing right now. I think Thursday night, I'm looking more forward to Thursday night, in particular the first quarter, first and second quarter, to see exactly what's going to transpire.
KP, any thoughts on what AD said? Any thoughts on the Texans training camp so far?
Haven't seen a single snap, so I could not deliver an informed statement.
I see
Hey,
Justin.
yeah, two things. Justin's the statement here. Texans have a championship caliber defense. I think, Mr. Moore, you agree with that. But
Oh,
what's the
without a
story
doubt.
on Nico Collins?
They've been resting him. I think there's a clip out there, either on my YouTube page, on my Instagram, 80 on Ad Max Corner, and the Ad Max Corner YouTube. It's a YouTube short. Nico has been trying out the bonnet, the padded shell that they putting on their heads, because Nico went out this past season. Was out for several games with concussion issues, and I sort of asked him, "Is this going to be part of his uniform moving forward this year?" And he uncharacteristic said, "No, I'm not doing that." He said, because, and I can understand exactly what he's talking about, because he said trying to track the ball and everything in the game. You got to be able to turn your head, and it offers a little bit more. I mean, it may not look like that much, but for as a receiver who wants to have the fluidity and everything on the field, and being able to make his cuts, come out his cuts, and being able to pick up the ball, I understand clearly where Nico Collins is coming from. So he said he's not going to wear it in the game. He said he's had it on every day in practice. He is actually running around with it every day in practice. But as for what he stated to me, and the question I put to him directly, will you be wearing this during the regular season? And he said no. But as far as what Justin asked about, yeah, they are resting him. They're not pushing him as hard. I mean, we know what Nico Collins can do, and he's in shape. So you're trying to Jaden Higgins, uh, and the other the two J's. One of them that has been hurt. The small has been down with injuries on his. He hurt his finger, so he's sort of just getting into the situation. As I stated, Tank Dale was out a couple of days ago, and actually got involved in a couple of pass plays. So Tank is still doing his thing. There are enough things that can you want to see this team hit the ground running, and offensively, everything's got need to fall into place. That's just putting it in a nutshell.
Two questions for you. The defense is so good, dominant. Any concerns that the offense is not going to be good this year? I mean, the defense is great, okay, but is the offense, how far behind is the offense? Or is the offense far behind?
The offense is in better at this point in time, because this is year two in the same offense. Now, let me expound on that a little bit. Nobody's picking up new verbiage this year. This is they setting year two for the same offense. Year two for CJ in the same offense. Year two for Nick Haley. Now he does have a new quarterback coach, but as far as all the other things, and what the one thing that D'Amico Ryan has been stressing with unceasingly, is being precision, getting to the line of scrimmage and just getting off the mark. And so that's and because after going back and looking at last season, they dropped their first three ball games, and so this is one thing they D'Amico is already coming in with the mindset. We can't start the season off this year like they done last year. So a lot of things, a lot of prep, a lot of just consistent action, and consistently staying focused on the task at hand, and trying to get off to a good start this year. And plus, we know with the first two ball games at home, This is ideal for them to try to get. Even though that first ball game is against the Buffalo Bills, this schedule is set up now for them to get a good jump on the season.